There's been times in my life where I've set out on goals I thought I needed to attain, started walking down paths thought I needed to walk down, and some of these goals slash paths ended up taking every ounce of motivation, discipline, dedication, hell, journaling to remind myself why I'm doing what I'm doing, meditation because I just couldn't mentally get right. I'm trying to look at my sleep schedule to make sure I'm getting the absolute most amount of hours of sleep because I'm feeling so drained throughout the day. So I'm drinking caffeine, I'm doing this and that. And it wasn't until I took a step back and started pursuing something else that was more inherently fulfilling to me that I realized that the reason I was having these difficulties is because I was not on the right path. I wasn't following what I needed to follow. It wasn't for me. When I started following something that was more fulfilling to me, something that I genuinely wanted to do, I was able to deal with consequences of bad habits. Everything came a lot easier. If I got 4 hours of sleep, I could still wake up and be productive with relative ease because it was something I genuinely wanted to do. You know, as a matter of fact, the reason I probably didn't get sleep is because I was thinking so much about what it is that I wanted to do. You know, I didn't necessarily need to drink caffeine. I didn't need to journal about why I was doing what I'm doing. I just knew it on such a deep level. I didn't have to bring it to light on a daily basis. I didn't have to meditate because what I'm doing felt revitalizing. It felt like a refresh. It was bringing me life instead of draining me, you know? And I'm saying all this to say is that a lot of people are doing things that they don't genuinely want to do, and it's just not fulfilling to them on a deep level. And their body, mind, and spirit knows this, and that's why they're feeling so drained. That's why they don't want to do the things they used to like to do anymore. They don't have the energy. They have to look so much into self-help and things of that nature because what you're doing is draining you and not bringing you life. It's not for you. I'm not doubting that what you're following may not be a admirable thing. It may be for someone else. You may be following a yellow brick road, but you're not following your path, you know? There's differences. Just because something is admirable does not mean that you should do it. It's not for everybody. Another way to think about this, just an example, I like to give examples, is think about someone you love. Think about a relationship. You know, when it comes to someone you genuinely love, or you're just in that honeymoon stage, everything just makes sense. It's so much easier to do the right thing. You don't have to sit back and remind yourself to listen to them in conversation so they feel heard. Like, you just genuinely want to know what they're talking about. You just care. You don't have to think about what makes them happy and that you need to do something to make them happy. You just want to do something to make them happy because that makes you happy in turn. It brings you life in return, you know? It's like the exact same concept. A lot of reasons as to why people can end up getting lost or on the wrong path or just following goals that they don't genuinely care for or want. But I guess just to go through them a little bit, one of the biggest ones I think was hustle culture. Hustle culture was big on bump whatever you think or you care about. You just have to go do it. You just have to do. And people are like, oh, you're right. I just need to do. I need to stop thinking and not care about what I feel like or whatever. And sometimes, I mean, I don't want to deny, sometimes it does take a little bit of override to reach some high goals, but I think that sometimes I can get lost in translation and kind of taken overboard to where you're just completely lost on the wrong track, you know? I think from the moment a person gets in school till they graduate high school at least, they're constantly being thrown with suggestions on things they should do. Every adult is telling them that they should do this, oh, this would be good for you. It's constantly being thrown in a person's head, and there's just so much chaos and things that it's easy to just do what pleases other people. And now, you know what I'm saying, now people are going to college, they're drained. You get the whole point. It just doesn't flow. It doesn't make sense. I think a lot of the times people do choose to follow these passions or not passions. Follow these things, these goals or these paths, whatever you want to say, because it helps them feel understood to a certain extent. You know, there's been times in my life where I've told people that what I want to do is this, and that, and the things I want to do are very risky. They're not as common, I guess you can say. And so I immediately see the doubt on their face. I immediately hear the questioning, and I immediately hear the suggestions of what I should do. I immediately, you know what I'm saying? And I think for a lot of people, that alone can be enough to dispersuade them from following the track that they initially set out on. The biggest consequence in wanting to feel understood, so following what other people are saying, is that you lose out on making the connections that are genuine and pure on the deepest level. You won't find the people that also share common interests and are also taking risks and are also as creative or whatever the case may be, because you're hiding that part of yourself. You know, you're never going to find these people if you don't speak about it, if you're not living in truth. You have to live in truth. It helps everything eventually align. It may not be immediate. You may have some hardships. You may struggle a little bit, but it's part of the process. You know what I'm saying? I think despite people that may doubt, may not fully accept you, I think it is so important for a person to live in truth. For that will bring self-fulfillment to the deepest level, and in your own individual, like heaven on earth. I said it before, but as also living in truth is also the only way you will find others that are also living in truth, that are on the same path or on a similar path as you. Only way you will make those deepest connections. You will be fully accepted the way you might be fully accepted in the way that you crave, closest to understood by another person. That is the only way, is to live in truth.